So what happens if you combine Rivers of Blood, one of the most legendary, infamous weapons of Elden Ring, with Moonveil, another one of its ilk, and create something, well, I'll just show you. Hello and welcome then, my fellow Tarnish, to the star-lined sword. This thing is absolutely beautiful. A brand new katana, and in my humble opinion, on both sheer aesthetic badassery and pure raw power, in contention for the best weapon the Shadow of the Erdtree has given us. I mean, just visually, right? You can't not see this and go, I have a mighty need. And don't worry, because today I will show you how to get it within like 10 minutes of starting the DLC, and believe me, this thing will carry you upon its lovely glowing shoulders. It absolutely shreds. So, to give it a proper little look then, here, the star-lined sword, a new katana, so of course, natural build bleed up, which is just that sweet crimson cherry on top. But, other than that, it is your regular katana-y slashy slash, and that's all well and good, and hey, it doesn't hurt that aesthetically it really is quite pretty, and also it doesn't have a scabbard on your hip, which I really, personally don't like. I realize it's just a petty little tiny thing, but that's a bonus if you're at all like me, and it really is just, a solid katana. But everything is in the Ash of War, Onz's line of stars, and this, imbues Sorcerer's energy into the glintstone line for enhanced slashing attacks. Then you can do a 6-hit combo using it, each one doing more damage, and the entire time the range of the sword is near doubled during it. You have the initial left-right, then a much bigger sweep, then a leap, and then a double spinning teleport into the air hit. It is fast and it is potent. Stats and what build this fits into wise then, well, honestly, either dex or int. I have just the minimal dex and strength to wield it, and I'm all in on int because I am all about those sorceries, but it's proved to be a fantastically effective, weapon, and I was going to say backup weapon, but honestly, it started to take over as my main method of dealing damage because it's just that good. And it is just that good even with me ignoring its main scaling stat in dex. The magic damage is nice, but I am missing out on a lot of physical. You see, the Ash of War, it does hit with the actual blade itself, as well as the magic line if you're close enough. So yeah, the blood build-up does go into it if you're point-blank comboing, and you will gain a lot from using this in a main deck setup, but it really does work for both. Even just having the minimal stats and plus 10ing it, you're going to get a lot out of it just because of how versatile, long-reaching, and hard-hitting the Ash is by default. And while I really want to do a specific build tied to it, as just a general, I mean, it's ridiculous. Of course, it's an Ash, so we put Shard into it. It's rapidly hitting, so we put Rotten Winged into it, which is a huge damage increase, and this keeps this up and it keeps raising it fantastically. And then, hey, we're going to get consistent bleeds because we're hitting so often with a bleed weapon despite not having Seppuku or Blood Flame or even having it arcane scaling. It's surprising how easily it does proc those bleeds, and then this, free 20% more damage. It really is lovely, and I would say these are going to be your core 3 talismans while actually running it to not spoil any of the new ones. And of course, if you're already sold, and why wouldn't you be, then you can simply skip to the timestamp on how to actually get it straight away, easy, early, without having to fight anything major at all. It's actually quite criminal how soon you can get hold of this thing from the start. But for now, let's actually get in to the ridiculousness that is this sword. I mean, yeah, like it just absolutely butchers everything that you turn it against. It really, really does. My only real warning I would have for you is you are committed to each pair of attacks when you press the button. It's 3 inputs, so you have to do the 1 then 2, you can't not. So do take that into account when you are timing the attacks. You've got to allow for the second strike too, as it will force you to do it as you go through the combo. You have to do the jump in the air, and then you have to do the full spin. Though the full spin is quite fast, and the little teleport up will often dodge you attacks as it goes. So, with that all said then, without further ado, let's get ourselves, well, this beautiful star-lined sword with its incredible ash, combining rivers and Moonveil for this beautiful, magic, bleeding, gorgeous katana. Start here then at the 3-path cross, which of course you can run to straight away from the actual opening of the DLC here, and I will show you the full run in person for you to follow along if you need, but map-wise, you're going to go across here, past this bridge, and I've got a bit of an earlier map on here to avoid spoilers for you guys, so don't worry too much about that. Then you want to head down, cross here, and then head into this little valley where you will pass under this. You will then come out here and then eventually go through this poison lake, head into the cliff, and then you'll go underground and eventually come out on the river, which is here. Then when you come into the river, you can either go up here or you can go downstream. You want to go downstream. You will then pass underneath this cliff, and eventually you will come out here. Then you want to just run all the way straight down through this little tunnel to this Cerulean Coast Grace. Then you want to go past it and head up and round alongside the sea here, and then head up into the cliffs, going between them until you get to this. Then you want to head left past it, go underneath this rocky arch, and then you will arrive here, right where I am now cursing, and this is where you will find the blade attached to, admittedly still living hands, which we then need to deprive it of. It is a demi-human queen boss, a standard affair we've seen from the base game, so fairly easy to best, and any given build you have brought to Shadow the Erdtree will be able to absolutely dunk on it, and yeah, you can get the katana nice and easy, and you can do this run immediately. There's nothing to unlock, nothing to bar your way, run past everything, get on torrent, and make it happen. Of course, the run itself is playing out, and you can slow it down as you need, so you can physically see it happen, as I realize it can be a little bit confusing with how layered everything is going on here, but I wish you well in acquiring it, and indeed in using it. There is so many ways you can build into this, and I would love to give it its proper build, and in fact, I almost certainly will later down the line, but for now, I cannot overstate how much fun playing through Shadow of the Erdtree was for me using this weapon. It just feels so good. It's like Wing of Astal level for me. It really, really is. For now then, like if you enjoyed this, subscribe and hit the bell for more. Consider supporting the future of the channel on Patreon down below, and until we meet again, a goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.